So this is a short video comparing two very different breathing techniques. The Wim Hof method, where the aim is to get as much oxygen into the body as possible, and the Konstantin Buteyko method, which is to reduce how much oxygen goes into the body and increase CO2. So on the surface of things, they are very contrasting. So is there any middle ground? I practice both methods. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Wim and his method. Briefly, I will put links below to the actual science and stuff, and I will tell you about Buteyko method, again briefly, and put links, and then we will see if there's middle ground and if they can work together. So, advocates of Wim Hof say that it gives you more energy, boosts immune system, anti-inflammatory relief, better sleep, increased sports performance, fibromyalgia relief, autoimmune disease relief, arthritis relief, COPD management. You get relief from migraines, MS, asthma, lower blood pressure. So, the Wim Hof method is to take 30 to 40 very big inhales into the stomach, the chest, and into the head, and then let it out at about 70%. At the end of those breaths, you will then do a breath hold, where you will hold it for as long as you can, and then you do a recovery breath in for 15-20 seconds, where you hold the breath in, and then you repeat that. You can repeat it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever. So you're taking in a lot of oxygen. So what actually happens when you take in all those gulps of air? So it does a lot of good things, the Wim Hof method. And one of the main things it does is to put your body, whilst you're doing those breaths, into hormetic stress. And so that means you're actually controlling your autonomic nervous system. Wim has changed the scientific textbooks by tapping into this method. But he's just not a freak of nature. He's taught other people how to do it. So by doing this method, you actually produce an immune response. But you do it in such a controlled manner that you are in a stress situation because you have all this oxygen in your body, but your body then utilises it correctly and resets, if you like, your immune system. I personally do the practice every day, the Wim Hof method, and in my own life, I appreciate this is anecdotal, but there is loads of science, and I'll put links below. I used to have seasonal asthma and allergies to hay fever and pollen, and I used to have 2 inhalers every day throughout the summer, and I've been doing it for 2 years almost, and I've never had to use an inhaler since. I no longer have any food intolerances or allergies, and I rarely get ill, and I have 6 kids, so I'm exposed to every germ under the sun. So as an advocate, I would say try it, do it, and if you want more evidence, there are literally tens of thousands of people who give their testimonials who are dealing with extraordinary illnesses using this method. Konstantin Buteyko was a Ukrainian doctor who pioneered a breathing method when he witnessed how difficult it was for asthmatics to breathe. He noticed that asthma was a breathing complaint of having too much oxygen whilst feeling like you're not having enough oxygen. It's a really interesting technique. So how does it work, the Buteyko method? Well, there are different degrees of practicing it. One is to breathe in for 3 through the nose and say out for 6, or you can shorten or lengthen those. And a slightly more extreme ways, which is what I do, is to limit how much air actually goes into the nose. So you take the softest breath, almost like you can't feel it, in for 3, and then you would breathe that out for 6, again so softly that you almost cannot feel it. But what's the benefit of that? So how does it work? Well, basically by reducing how much oxygen that the body has to get rid of and blow off, you actually have the perfect homeostasis of transference between carbon dioxide and oxygen in the body. So your cells work at optimal rate, which is good for every single system in the body, particularly good for asthmatics, but amazing for sports people who want to work at optimum their optimum ability, because their muscles have the perfect amount of oxygen. So it works brilliantly. It's an amazing technique. Another fab thing about the Buteyko technique is by reducing how much oxygen is going into the nose, you actually get a build-up of nitrous oxides in the nasal cavity. That promotes immune system response, which is amazing. So you'll have better and more conditioned white blood cells, but you also release something called the endothelial derived relaxin factor. And that literally expands the arterial blood in your heart. You literally fall in love with your life. There's nothing not to like about this, but there's also nothing not to like about Wim. So whilst one is getting in as much air as you can and the other one is limiting, they both have profound and extreme effects on the body. So by practicing the Wim Hof method every day for 3 or 4 rounds and having too much oxygen has been proven to put your body in hormetic stress, which is a good thing. You're controlling it. You're no longer the puppet, you are the puppet master. The Buteyko method has been proven a very valid method of nasal breathing that can actually give you longevity. Both of these methods are biohacks to increase the length of your telomeres, which will increase the length of your life. So if you want to live a healthy, happy, strong life, then both of these methods work hand in glove together and make you feel ace. So I would recommend you do both. 3 or 4 rounds of Wim Hof breathing every day and the Buteyko method every day. And just take those conscious breaths. The more nasal breathing that you do, the healthier you will be. The more conscious breathing that you will do, the more mindful you will be, and they will work in perfect methods, work in perfect synchronicity together. They are an excellent key to promoting your health and well-being.